Alrighty guys, we're back for some Golgari Leech, and this is a Dominaria United Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some normal play mode, because this is definitely one of those decks that you want to focus on just having fun with it and not worry too much about winning. That being said guys, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well. I don't know exactly where this one lies. I would call it a little bit aggressive. We're going to be leeching the opponent's life with cards like Curse of Leeches. This is Enchant Player. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to a player. At the beginning of Enchanted Player's upkeep, they lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, not bad. And if it happens to be nighttime, this becomes a 4/4 lifelink. That's pretty cool actually. It'll be easier for the opponents to remove once it becomes the Leeching Lurker, but I don't know, it's a pretty neat card. So because it's an enchantment, we have a bunch of cards in here that work with enchantments, like Kami of Transience. As we know, this card is very powerful, and Generous Visitor is also very good too. So we have cards that we don't see too often in here. Clawing Torment. This is a 1 mana enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets -1/-1 and can't block. That's important. Enchanted permanent has, at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. So pretty cool. Just another way to drain the opponent's life, and maybe you're taking out a key blocker that the opponent has, so you can just swing in with all of your other beefy creatures too. One of you guys pointed this card out to me in the comments a while back, and ever since then I've been wanting to make like another Golgari enchantment build, so yeah, here we are, right? We got 4 Okiba Reckoner Raids. Just another way to drain the opponent's life, and there is a ton of life gain in this deck too, so I think other aggro builds are actually going to struggle against this one, but we'll see, right? Eventually this transforms into Road Captain. We don't have any vehicles in here, but a 2/2 menace is pretty darn cool. We got an Urborg Repossession, so another way to gain life, but for 1 mana, sorcery speed. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, you gain 2 life. Okay, not bad. If this spell was kicked, so it has a kicker cost of 1 and a green, return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is kind of a way, now, like, decks like this should scare Invoke, be scared of Invoke Despair, right? Any deck should be scared of Invoke Despair, honestly. That's a very powerful card. But this might be a way, like, we have to get rid of a creature and an enchantment, and then for 3 mana we get that enchantment and creature back to our hand, potentially? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if this is actually decent in here. We'll see. We have a couple Life of Toshiros. Now what's cool is the Memory of Toshiro. The ability on the memory is you can tap it, pay a life, and add a black mana. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. So we can actually use that to cast the Urborg too, if we really wanted to, and then we do gain that 2 life, so that'll be interesting. The first 2 abilities on this saga happen to be pretty good. Even if there's no creatures to hit with it, you can just gain a couple life before it eventually comes out as the memory, which is pretty cool. The -1/-1 can hit things like Phoenix Chick, right? The opponent turn on their turn 1, because they'll go first because they're mono red. They play their Phoenix Chick on, and then eventually, well, wait, yeah, what am I saying? We won't have 2 mana on our first turn. Either way, this eventually hits a Phoenix Chick with the -1/-1, and yeah, they can eventually bring it back. It's just kind of an important card to think about, especially when for some reason there's like not a lot of flyers right now. Like the Phoenix Chick's flying is actually kind of insane. Either way, onwards, moving on. Let's see here. We got 2 Stronghold Arenas, a card that, again, we might not see often. There's a bunch of cards in here like that. 2 mana enchantment with a kicker cost of a green and another kicker cost of a white. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life each time it was kicked. So later on in the game, you could potentially play this out for 4 mana and gain 6 life. And 6 life is a lot of life, so might end up saving you, honestly. Now we're only splashing white in the mana base for that second kicker cost. So more often than not, you're playing this out on 2 or 3 mana with the black and the green. But what else does this card do? Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. So you don't want too many expensive cards in your deck, because it doesn't say reveal the top card, then you get to decide to put it into your hand. It's just reveal the top card and slap it into your hand. So after you decide to do this, no matter what card it is, it's going into your hand. So yeah, just something to think about, I guess. Oh, just a great way to replenish our hand too. It does say one or more creatures, so you don't get to activate this. Like if 3 creatures go in and each one hits the opponent's face, you don't get to draw 3 cards off of that. It would still only be 1, unfortunately. Unless whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage. I suppose that would work with like first strike cards and stuff like that too. I believe so. Okay, I already went over the Kami of Transience. We got 4 Teachings of the Kirin here. So this is a 2 mana card where we get to mill cards into the grave. So the Urborg Repossession might be good with this as well. Mill 3 cards, you get to create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. On the chapter 2, we get to put a counter on a creature, not bad. On chapter 3, it comes back as Kirin touched Orochi. So this is a Snake Monk 1/1. Whenever it attacks, you get to choose one of these abilities. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless creature token. Or you can exile a non-creature card from a graveyard. Whenever you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It's actually a pretty decent card overall, and it works really well with our cards like Generous Visitor and Kami of Transience, because it is, of course, a enchantment. But then also, yeah, just getting cards into the graveyard isn't going to be too bad in this deck, and we got more reasons than one. So we got 2 Tear Asunder. This card is sick, and there's a lot of artifacts and a lot of enchantments. This just destroys them, guys. It exiles them. It doesn't literally destroy them, it exiles them. If this spell was kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. So for 4 mana, you can just exile any permanent. That's really cool, guys. This is a pretty good card. Keep your eye on it. I don't know exactly where it belongs. Probably in some kind of like Jund mid-range list, but I still think it's going to be pretty good in here too. Already went over the Curse of Leeches. We have the Weatherseed Treaty in here. Just another cool enchantment from Dominaria. So the first chapter, you can search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So you could ramp with it if you want to, but this actually has read ahead, so you get to decide what chapter this starts on. Chapter 2, you can create a 1/1 Saproling. So chapter 3, though, this is what's really interesting. Target creature you control gets +X/+X and gains trample until end of turn, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. So this is our only card in here with domain, but it's going to work really well with the cards like that we splashed white with. So essentially, we have the triomes in here, is what I'm trying to get at. We got 3 Spara's Headquarters. This was mainly just for the green, but it does have the white for the Stronghold, and then it has the blue for the Weatherseed Treaty as well. So domain is ridiculous, actually, guys. It's so easy to get a crazy value out of these domain cards, because all you need is a Spara's Headquarters, and we got 4 Proving Grounds in here too. That's it. Now you got maxed out domain. Isn't that crazy, guys? You guys have probably seen other domain builds, and this build is by no means a domain build. We just needed a way to splash the white for the Stronghold, but then also get more value out of our enchantments, and that's kind of what I decided on. A couple Thran Portals too. We're gaining so much life throughout these games that I don't think these Thran Portals are going to hold us back by any means. Got a Who Endures and Abandoned Mire in here as well. Now we got 2 Gloomshriekers. This is actually an enchantment creature. So it works with our Kami, it works with our Generous Visitor. For 3 mana, 2/1 with Menace, don't underestimate Menace. Whenever it enters the battlefield, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If it would die, exile it instead. So this can also help us get our enchantments back from the grave. It works well with the teachings, and it kind of acts as just a couple more of the Urborg Repossession. So pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty good in here. Got some honorable mentions, guys. We got Cut Down, Infernal Grasp being some just amazing removal, but at that point, you might as well just strip apart the entire spirit of the deck, take out all the green, and add a bunch of awesome mono black cards. That's not necessarily true. If you do need more removal, then these are great options, obviously. Commune with Spirits. Now, you could drop the Urborg Repossession and try out the Commune with Spirits. There's not a lot you want to hit with the Spirits, though. Usually you want this in a deck where you're searching for some of that enchantment removal, or the enchantment cards that act as removal, right? And so I don't think there's a lot we want to like search for with this necessarily. Shadow Prophecy and Drag to the bottom. Since we are rocking the whole domain thing with the Weatherseed Treaty and we got those triomes in here, these could be pretty sick, but not this time round. I think maybe one drag to the bottom might be necessary, but we'll see. And Jigen Defends the Temple happens to be a pretty good card too, but not this time round. Couldn't find room for it actually. Okay guys, hopefully I didn't take too long to go over such a simple little build, but there's actually a lot packed in here and a lot of different cards that we don't see too often. So either way, let's go ahead, take it into some normal play mode and see how we do. All right into the first match here, guys. You bring in some Golgari to the table as well. Oh, I forgot to change my card sleeves and my Planeswalker. Oh well. Okay, I think this is a keepable hand. Well, it's a turn 1 Proving Ground. And we don't, okay, now we have a guaranteed turn 2. That's good at least. I was gonna say, or a guaranteed 2-drop is what I wanted. We can start with the teachings here. Generous Visitor. Okay, right up against a not quite a mirror match, right? So we're gonna start with the teachings over the double Reckoner raids, which also could have been pretty cool, but we do have a ton of cards in here that care about enchantments entering. So a couple of Okiba Reckoner raids. Oh my goodness, guys. Weatherseed Treaty. A ramp could be cool. We don't have the white source for the Stronghold. Okay, Weaver of Harmony. Yeah, we got some Selesnya enchantments over there. Well, this is going to be an uphill battle, guys, because Selesnya enchantments knows how to gain life off of lifelink and other goodies. Okay, Clawing Torment's pretty good. I don't mind finding land off the Weatherseed here. I think the Stronghold's pretty good too. Just gain a little bit, swing, and they probably don't trade, then we can draw. Let's go Weatherseed Treaty. And we will grab a green source here. Actually, we got so many. Yeah, let's go. We have a green on the Proving Ground too. Let's go Swamp. I'm going to go no attacks, just in case we really need a blocker next turn, or maybe they just use... It would kind of waste removal on a spirit if they decided to do that instead. Unless it's a Circle of Confinement, that would be pretty bad. Because in cases like Circle of Confinement, then tokens are the perfect hit for that. Broker's Hideout grabbing a Plains. Thins out the deck. Okay. Okay. It's probably a good thing that we kept a chump blocker, because we should probably chump that 6. We should probably do that. Oh, Curse of Leeches. Okay. Get a 1/1. More chump blockers. No trample for them yet. No Kami of Transience, huh? So, Clawing Torment on the Naturalist is fine. fine, but they're probably just gonna buff it with Visitor anyways, making it unable to block. Yeah, Can ramp with the other Weatherseed. Get the Reckoner raid down. Alright, let's grab a green source. This is a little bit ridiculous. Get the Reckoner raid down. We're safe, kinda, sorta. Like, the Reign of Truth is probably gonna double down here, but we got 2 creatures. Get Weaver of Harmony copy. Oh no, they want to keep their 4 open, maybe for a Hollowed Haunting? Maybe. There's the Circle of Confinement. So again, the tokens are a perfect hit for the circle. Oh, they're gonna hit that instead though. Huh. Oh, they're gonna hit both. Yeah, that explains the Weaver of Harmony, yeah. For some reason I thought they were just gonna keep it for an attack, but this is a huge swing for the opponent, and they're gonna get something off the fight rigging too. Oh man, that's brutal. Dude, fight rigging with Michiko's Reign of Truth. That is such a sick concept. Oh, they decide to just plug it into Visitor instead. That's interesting. Well, get a bunch of stuff here. We want the sapling to go on first. Oh, the other one needs to target before it activates, yeah. Yeah, I always forget that that's like the order of things. So the Weatherseed Treaty fizzled out because you need to target before it goes onto the stack. Anyways, we're like super dead. We need to get like more chump blockers down. Can gain some life. I have a chump blocker here. Let's start with the life gain. Gain 3. We have 2 remaining. We'll get a couple raids down. We're going back up to 10. The Reign of Truth doesn't buff, but they do get their fight rigging next turn. Gain some life. Gain some life. So we're not out of this yet. But like we're pretty much out of this, right? Because this is a very tough board state to get around. Maybe, so we're forced to block, so the other Weatherseed's gonna fizzle out too. Death Touch, Fight Rigging. They might use Weaver of Harmony's ability. Oh, they still don't want the card that Fight Rigging is holding. Oh, the Portrait's a 7/7. Yeah, that's right. Hollowed Haunting off of it. Oh my goodness. So they all got flying. Dude. We just got destroyed, man. Selesnya enchantments are still very scary. Oh, buddy. I got a new Selesnya enchantments build to show off at some point as well, and hopefully soon. I went a little bit insane and built way too many decks too early on. So we have a lot of decks to showcase, and I don't know which ones I'm going to get to and which ones I'm not going to get to. How I do it then when I can't decide is I start with the thumbnail then and see what kind of thumbnails I can actually get done for the YouTube video, and then that helps me decide, okay, well I have this thumbnail, let's play with that deck instead. This is actually a better hand than the first hand. It's relatively slow. Hey, it looks like Life of Toshiro might actually hit a Phoenix chick like we were talking about earlier. But we're gonna start with the Generous Visitor here and hope that it doesn't just die to a Play with Fire or something. But that will be a Play with Fire that's not going to our face, so that could be good. Well, let's wait to see if we draw land. Nope, no land there, so it's gonna be Generous Visitor. And next turn we'll get the Life of Toshiro down. I wonder what creature they're gonna hit off of Kumano. Hopefully. Okay, so a Radha's Firebrand. I keep calling Radha's Firebrand Radha, and I know it hasn't really bothered anyone yet, but it kind of bothers me, because that's Radha's Firebrand, not the actual Radha. Okay, taking a bunch of damage here. Okay, so this is a problem. A 5/3 that makes our Generous Visitor obsolete right now is pretty bad. So, gonna get that swamp down. I think we keep the same play here, and we go Life of Toshiro -1 the chick. And then we'll go Reckoner. Because we do gain a life here. And the Visitor goes up to 3. They still make the Firebrand. They make it so that way this can't block. But, yeah, we won't be able to block the Kumano either. So, we just swing. Because if they got it, they got it. You know what I mean? They could drop their Mountain. And they can drop a Raiju and just swing at my face. Either way, the Visitor can't block. So, there's the Mountain. Okay. Targets the Visitor. We're down to 5. Double Lightning Strike. Another Firebrand. We're lucky they couldn't give that haste. Okay. So we will hit the Firebrand first of all. Life of Toshiro has always proven to be a pretty terrific card all in all. So we can get rid of Hammer Hand. But I think another Chump Blocker is going to be better. They make one unblockable. It's too bad we can't do 2 things here. The Weatherseed Treaty could be cool too. Yeah, it's too bad we can't do 2 things. I guess the repossession could happen. Yeah, we better do this. It gains us 2 life. Sorry, what? Is this not how the... Oh, this isn't a creature. Oh, no. Alright. They make this... So, we gotta keep both open. Gotta keep both open. They make the Visitor... I would make it so that way the 1/1 can't chump. Because then we would probably trade the Visitor into the Firebrand. We might still die here, though. They still have 2 cards in hand, and we're down to 4. Oh, one of them's a Mountain. Oh, we're safe. We are totally safe. Okay. So, the Visitor's gonna get around the Firebrand. Get some chump blockers, huh? Better play this. And we could ramp. Tear Asunder is... I think we can ramp here safely. The biggest issue... Okay. So we will go ahead and get this to a 3/3. Hopefully they don't have like another Hammer Hand in hand. Could get the 1/1 instead of ramping too. I guess another chump blocker's safer, I suppose. Either way, we gotta get blockers down, I guess, because there's like a lot the opponent could end up doing. Because we're at 4, guys. we are in danger. A little bit more life gain would be good. We can double down on the repossession if we let one of our creatures die. These are also enchantments, so Defiler of Instinct drops. Most likely still a full swing here. And they make one of these unable to block, which would be Road Captain. We keep Visitor and double block. Oh. Oh. Great. This is good for us. That's pretty good. We don't want to forget about the exile on Kumano. That's true. Okay, yeah, the target happens first no matter what. Let's go with Generous Visitor. Now, we're going to still save the Generous Visitor back. Let's just buff the token for now. So, Clawing Torment's pretty cool. But it's just going to be the Tear Asunder. The opponent is out of here, guys. No, come back. I think we were able to control the board state, but I feel like also with red, like there is a lot that a top deck could do. So they didn't know that we had the removal for the Defiler of Instinct, but we were about to exile that with the Tear Asunder just on our turn We also, it's an instant speed, so you could keep it open for their turn too, but I want like no chance for them to use anything. Like I don't want them to draw anything and use the Defiler. I don't know exactly what they would draw. Also, red doesn't have great protection spells, so I think it would be safe to keep this open for their turn. Clawing Torment would have been cool too. Yeah, the Repossession, I'm just now thinking about this a little bit more. The fact that we don't have too many creatures. A lot of our creatures are actually just enchantments or sagas, right? So, yeah, I guess that's something to consider with the Repossession. We'll see if it ends up being any good. I think being able to bring a Visitor back, though, because Visitor has a huge target on its back, so just something to think about, I guess. 50% total win rate so far, and 2 meta decks over here in normal play mode. Recently, there's been a lot of variety on ranked, which is pretty fun, and we're seeing a lot of variety here in normal play mode too, which is good. Selesnya enchantments and mono red are both part of the meta, so we'll see if we can continue to see some meta over here. Honestly, it's a little scary because I'm trying to have fun, play a little bit of jank, but nice. Great hand. Best hand of the evening. No! All right. Don't worry, guys. We'll put it in the chapter. I like to keep those in because of the hands. I like to showcase what the deck is capable of drawing, and in the chapters of the video, it'll say opponent concedes early or whatever. Something along those lines. Okay, well, it's a much worse hand, but it's also not terrible. Like, it's just like, there's a lot to draw here, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay. Start with the Proving Ground. And we'll go right into the teachings. What you bring to the table, opponent? What you got for me? Fiend's Tower. Yeah. Okay, get our 1/1. See what we get into the grave here. Oh yeah, the Gloomshrieker. Okay, that's another creature that we can hit off the Repossession. So next turn we can go Teachings and Reckoner Raid. So Reckoner Raid was a pretty good draw. Oh, Kami of Transience. That is terrific. Problem is it going to hit the board? Probably not. So maybe, as horrible as it is, if we start with Reckoner Raid, no, it's fine. If they counter a Kami of Transience, it's not the best counter for them. Like, a make disappear on Transience isn't that great. Eventually we can bring it back when they kill one of our other enchantments. Do they let it hit? Doing Reckoner Raid before the swing. Huh. Alright. This is probably just a reinforcements then? Seeing a lot of reinforcements, so it's just kind of something to play around. Put a double block into our token? Yeah, that's worth a swing. Let's see if the reinforcements drops at the end of their turn then. Oh, it's going to be like an Infernal Grasp on the Transience? Oh, Siphon Insight. Wow. I was all over the place there. Honestly, we don't see too much Siphon Insight. We definitely see it though, and we've been seeing it more often. Probably just... Oh, Celestis. Dude, nice. Wonder what they hit off of our top. Weatherseed Treaty. Pretty good. Stronghold here is pretty good too. Get a draw this turn. And we don't need the life, so we don't have to kick it, so we can also do Teachings this turn too. And just let the Kami of Transience buff. Get a pretty good swing here, guys. Buff this even more. Yeah, 7 damage. Mill 3, let's see what we mill. Okay. Some of our enchantments are out of here. I'm really curious to see if the Clawing Torment's going to be good. Oh my goodness, they actually had something for the Kami of Transience. Well, either way, we're going to take this action. Nice, another Weatherseed Treaty. So these are pretty great because they can help us round up the game with that bottom ability, because you don't have to go through the whole sagas, man. Read ahead is pretty powerful. The Rona's Vortex was very unfortunate, though. I thought we were about to get a bunch of extra damage through, but that is not the case. So they have 4 mana open to keep a Wandering Emperor open because of the Celestis. I feel like Curse of Leeches would be really good against this style of match. Okay, they don't have any mana open now. They probably hit the Kami of Transience. Or they have to, it's a creature or planeswalker. Oh, Curse of Leeches, nice. We'll start with, let's plug it all into one. I think that's okay. We're gonna get more here too. Probably hit the Gloomshrieker. See, Weatherseed could just buff something by 3 right now, is the thing. We have 5, we would have 8, 9 if we went the +1 counter. But I think getting Curse of Leeches down this turn is going to be better here. So let's do this. Oh, non-creature. Oh, I thought the plus... Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's hit that Siphon Insight. It's really good. And that already has a huge target on its back, so... See what we hit. Oh, nice. Land. Dude, sweet. We still can't do 2 things in 1 turn anyways, but yeah. I'm down for more land right now. Because against a deck like this, you want to be able to do 2 things in 1 turn. Oh, they could grab their Meat Hook. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Meat Hook would be pretty bad, because it hits everything. So maybe if we would have put everything into Spirit. I'm pretty bad at this, but playing around Cruelty is really hard, as of right now. I'll get better at it the more I play with it, or the more I play against it, I should say. But you really got to think, okay, next turn they get to grab whatever the heck they want. What are they going to grab and how are they going to disrupt my board state? And I'm not doing that while I'm playing against it, but it's really something you want to do. So yeah, grab a Meat Hook for 3, kill everything, gain 4 life, back up to 10. And yeah, that's just brutal, man. What else could they grab here? There's probably a ton of stuff that they're considering, because if they can just gain some life too, like maybe it's as simple, just grab a Wandering Emperor, hold it open. We have a pretty wide board state though. They would want like another removal, like another Vortex too. So I would assume it's Meat Hook. Oh, that's right, they take the 3 too, so... Oh, it's going to be a Sheoldred. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. They're back up to 7. And now, yes, we found that land, so we get to double down on the Weatherseed Treaty. If we want to give 2 things trample, which I believe we do, especially like the Roadside Captain, getting that a buff, and probably this, and then still a full swing. How do you guys feel about that? I feel like math is for blockers on this turn. That's what I feel. So let's get this down. Buff the captain. Let's get this down. Buff the 3/3. Full swing. Nothing has lifelink over there. +1 counter. grab the Revelry, sure. And let's plug that on the Road Captain since it has Menace. And we don't want to forget the Curse of Leeches is going to do 1 damage to them too. So we just got to get 6 through here this turn. Both of these have Trample and Road Captain has Menace, so they got to double block that. If they go block, block there. Now I am doing the math for the blockers, right? So, okay, they end up blocking the Orochi. And then the Shieldred could block here, but then the 6 is still going through off the Road Captain. And then this is still another damage going through for 7 since it has Trample. Yeah, hey, GG, let's go, guys. And then we had the Curse of Leeches too. Very nice. And we were going to draw off of that other enchantment on our board too. I like the deck so far. It's pretty fun. So we got 1 loss and 3 victories, but the middle victory there was an early concede from the opponent, unfortunately. Let's see. Couple visitors, Clawing Torment. There's a Tear Asunder. Exile Artifact or Enchantment. That could have been pretty good against like the Celestis too, especially if that game would have went on longer. We have our white source now too, off the headquarters. Maybe our domain will actually be able to do more here soon. You know what? Kami of Transience is probably going to come down before the visitor here. We could double... No, we can't double down on visitors. So let's go Kami of Transience. Llanowar Loam Speaker, huh? Oh my goodness, Ulvenwald Oddity. Oh man. That happened so fast. Okay. Well, another Tear Asunder, so once we get the 4th mana, we can actually start to... Let's get the Curse of Leeches down. The sooner we can gain life against aggro, the better. And I don't plan on blocking with Kami of Transience, but this is a lot of damage coming in, especially if they drop another Oddity. Eh, what the heck? Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. We're overdue for a loss, so we might as well play very aggressively and see what happens. Beast Caller. A good card. Here comes creature number 2 for the turn. Iconoclast, and they're gonna kick it too. Give it some haste. Woo, buddy. 8 damage coming through. Beast Caller is at a 3/3, and we didn't hit that 4th untapped. Still play it though. We are in danger, my friends. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? We're going to go back up to 10 from the Curse of Leeches. Get the Kami of Transience above the Oddity. And let's bring the Iconoclast down to just a level. Well, that's tough. That's a tough decision. Yeah, we can chump the Beast Caller. Get the Transience above an Oddity and... Oh, I should have played the other visitor, guys. Oh, I had so much mana. Oh, why didn't I do that? Oh, no. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, oops. Well, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. We could have had an extra counter. I don't know why I did that. For some reason, I just thought I wasn't going to have mana left. Yeah, another blitzed Iconoclast here. That's scary, dude. So we block the Oddity for sure, and we're getting pretty dangerously low. Oh, they can even power up. Oh my goodness, dude. Gruul is so scary. Oh my goodness. So we're forced to chump 2 things. It's gonna be you, chump, take 6, right? Do we want to do that, or do we want to take 9? That's too risky, right? Nah, let's do it. Let's do it. So hopefully we're fine. Hopefully. proving ground. So we're gonna go back up to 2, and we have the Tear Asunder open to exile one thing. Yeah, we can exile the Beast Caller, but we might as well keep it all open. I believe this is the opponent's, but it really depends. There's nighttime, that's good. Leeching Lurker comes out. So we'll see what they draw, because they could easily just draw a flyer, but then we do have the Tear Asunder open, so. Woo, what a draw. Holy cow. Yeah, we got to take out the Raiju before the swing here. It will stop before the opponent's main phase, right? Okay. They power up the Thran Portal. I'm gonna go Tear Asunder on the Raiju because we can't take the damage from that. They power up the land in full swing, but we have the lifelink on the Leeching Lurker. So here's how this works, guys. We keep this alive. We take out the Iconoclast, and we chump the Beast Caller because Tear Asunder. Gonna be able to take care of it anyways. So we're going back up to 5 here. Or 4, sorry, yeah. There we go. 3. I mathed one time, guys. Okay, teachings. We get another chump blocker down, but then we lose the Tear Asunder ability. Chump blocker, yeah. I think it's chump blocker here. And we can actually swing with the Leeching Lurker too, in case they get draw removal, because we'll go back up to 7. We're still in danger if we do that. But again, we're kind of like doing a lot of risky plays anyways. We can actually swing with Kami of Transience probably quite successfully too. We have a chump blocker there. No. Yeah, let's not get too greedy. Because they could have another terrific draw here, so let's see it. They're down to 8. Man, that extra counter. Actually, that extra counter earlier, maybe that would have been enough to just take them out. They drew a land. Dude, what is even happening right now? Like, we're doing so good against... Hey, let's go. Another victory, guys. We're doing so good against some of these meta builds. What on earth? Oh my goodness. And I'm making mistakes too, so... It's one of those things. I gotta be real with you guys. I kind of said when we went over the deck, let's see if we can fit one more game. Win or lose, I'm pretty satisfied. Anyways, when I went over the deck, I kind of said, like, oh, hope I didn't take too long going over this simple build. But honestly, it doesn't feel that simple. This is definitely one of the harder decks that I've piloted recently. I'm sure you guys could pilot it much better. We go first. It's not the best hand. We don't have a black source, so this is our first mulligan. No, game, don't do this, please. Oh, okay, alright, don't worry, guys. We're only sending 80 cards back into the deck here. We're fine. Everything's fine. Okay, Kami of Transience, Curse of Leeches. Yeah, if it didn't switch to nighttime last game, like, if we would have Tear Asundered on our turn, that would have been awful. Switching it to nighttime with the curse was really, just ended up being really good. See if they flip it. Oh no, they always flip it. Oh no, guys. That's scary business already, because they just keep the 2 islands open and pass. And probably just like a make disappear or something. So we really want Curse of Leeches to hit against a deck like this. And if it is just a simple make disappear... See, a Syncopate doesn't get there, so the teachings could come down. But let's see if the teachings hits. This is also a bigger swing from the Kami of Transience. That's going to be a Spell Pierce, actually. That's scary enough, I suppose. Spell Pierce. Probably two to 3 of them, but I do know some people are rocking 4 Spell Pierce, which I guess kind of makes a little bit of sense, huh? We're going to start with the Clawing Torment. Slip out the back. So I still have 2 mana open. Do we still try the Curse of Leeches? I don't think we do. Ah, man. Yeah, going up against blue, we only saw meta builds today, huh? I think so. I think so. By the end of the video, I usually forget what most of the matches were until I'm reminded, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we played against. Yeah, I think slamming a Curse of Leeches against 2 open blue mana would be a big mistake. You can see why mono blue is gaining popularity. You can really see why. Like, look at how easy it is. They played 3 cards, guys. They played 3 cards. They've probably out-tempoed us pretty well here. Now, we did have to mulligan down to 5, unfortunately, which does suck, but I'm gonna attempt to kick this, guys. Again, a counter here is fine. Kami of Transience going up to 5 is pretty cool. And I'd rather save the Curse of Leeches, but at this point, with a 4/3 Delver, yeah, they're gonna Fading Hope the Kami of Transience. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Oh man. Hey, we do get to gain 3 life here, though. Because they actually let the Stronghold hit. But now I wonder if Kami of Transience is gonna get gobbled up by a counter. Down to 9. Yeah, land here's fine. We're gonna try to run it all out because in a couple turns the opponent wins. They only need a couple turns here, so if we don't try to run it all out, then like what are we gonna do? Save the Curse of Leeches again? Another Fading Hope on the Kami of Transience. The curse might hit. It might hit, which means they're gonna turn it to nighttime most likely. Slip out the back. That's 5. Ooh, buddy, yeah, they're going for the greed here. Tolarian Terror. Oh my goodness, 2 terrors on the board, and that is like, that is just a GG. We don't even have a creature in the grave to bring back with the repossession. We could actually kick the repossession and grab like the teachings, but yeah, we might as well. Oh, you need to target a creature? Oh, you need to target a creature. Yeah. Maybe we should have just sent it to nighttime instead, but a couple terrors, dude. Yeah, a good game opponent. Good game. Wait. It's a loss. Favorite emote? Ah, there we go. You gotta make the losses worth it, guys. 66 total percentage for the win rate up there, so this win right here, the opponent conceded early, so you could consider this a 60% win rate over here in normal play mode. And would we have done the same in ranked? Probably, guys. We just saw meta builds over here. It's like no one's playing jank anymore. Golgari Leech, here's the deck list. Again, guys, here it is. Okay. What would I change? I don't know. This is tough because I guess the repossession ended up being pretty bad because here's our creatures that we can target. That's it, right? We got 10 creatures that we can target, and you have to be able to target a creature for this to work. So it's kind of an oversight on my part because you're forced to target the creature, and most of our creatures in this build are like the saga creatures. So, and even like the even the Curse of Leeches, right? That's just an enchantment when it's in the grave, so the repossession doesn't hit it. As cool as it would be to be able to grab a Generous Visitor back, it just doesn't end up working out. Kami of Transience you can be able to bring back eventually anyways. Gloomshrieker is one of those cards that can bring back cards too, so you could drop the repossession and go up a Gloomshrieker, really. It's an enchantment, so it plays well with the Kami of Transience and the Visitor too. But also you could go up more removal if that's something you want in the deck. All of the life gain ended up being pretty cool. Clawing Torment was cool, but I wish we would have seen it do more today. I wish we would have just seen it more in general and just actually been like, because we were on the defense often. And so, like, we weren't able to play this card aggressively, make it so that way a creature couldn't block and then swing on in. And I think the more you play with the deck, the more that'll actually come into play. Weatherseed Treaty was freaking sweet, guys. Just being able to skip ahead and get that domain down. And yeah, that domain could totally be 5 in this deck. So I mean, we didn't see that today. We saw domain for 3, which is 100% fine. That's going to be probably more often than not how it ends up working out. Even though you have the 4 proving grounds and the 3 headquarters, the odds of you seeing them both must be pretty low. I mean, we played, what, 6 games total? So Curse of Leeches was so cool, guys. This is such a cool card. It really is. The fact that this has lifelink when it transforms into the Leeching Lurker, it's so cool. But yeah, the opponent just needs to find some simpler removal for it. But if you're up against Gruul or you're up against Mono Red, then there's not a lot that they can do against 4 toughness creatures unless they double down, right? Like play with Fire Lightning Strike, get them both, right? Other aggro builds like mono white definitely have ways to deal with these style of cards. And then like mono black aggro, we're not seeing as much as mono black mid-range / control. And so, you know, the lurker's not going to survive that often, but it's still such a neat card. A little bit janky, I suppose, overall, but Stronghold Arena was pretty cool too. Getting that life off of the kicker cost, but then also just being able to draw cards every turn, man. Not every turn necessarily if you have to hold back for blockers, but it's a neat card. I think there might be a spot for it somewhere, but it's also a little slow. It doesn't do anything on the turn it comes out unless you do end up kicking it. But again, I don't know, 3 life happens to be a lot, and if you do have like that headquarters down for that splash of white in over here, or even Thran Portal, guys, you can play Thran Portal on anything, so you could gain a good chunk of life off of this. Tear Asunder is pretty cool too, but yeah, 4 mana happens to be a lot. It's like I said while we were going over the deck, where does this belong? Probably in some kind of like Jund mid-range style thing, something that has a lot more mana. And for, like, you know, 4 mana doesn't completely take up a turn for a Jund mid-range style, especially when they're rocking like Fable of the Mirror Breaker and stuff like that to help them get treasures. Either way, it's a pretty powerful card, and I don't think we should overlook it for this style of build either. So, yeah, I liked the deck a lot, guys. A fun little janky brew that might actually not be as janky as I initially thought. I don't even think I mentioned the jank part of it at the beginning. It's just kind of obvious looking at the deck, but it ended up doing really good against some meta decks. So, yeah. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, then y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.